Very good morning and welcome to all of you, all the participants and all the dignitaries in the program. On this wonderful day, we are here to discuss a very important topic. Food insecurity is one of the most serious challenges in India, and COVID has also taught us this lesson in a very big manner. The present crisis shows us that sustainable agriculture, which applies less pressure on the natural resources, is the need of the hour. What is natural farming? How can the agriculture sector in today for our Simple Talks 24 on this important issue, please welcome Padam Shri Dr. Subhash Palekar ji, who has been practicing sustainability in the field of agriculture for decades. Welcome to the talk, Subhash ji. Subhash ji is a Padam Shri awardee and author of several books on Subhash Palekar natural farming. Though he does not need any introduction, he is a very well-known figure. Let me briefly introduce Dr. Subhash. He is an Indian agriculturist who practiced and wrote many books about Subhash Palekar natural farming, fondly known as Krishi Ka Rishi. In farming communities across India, Subhash Palekar was born in 1949 in a small village, Belora, in the Vidarbha region of Maharashtra in India, and he has an agricultural background. He practiced natural farming without using pesticides to cultivate. He developed this technique in the mid 1990s as an alternative to the Green Revolution's method, driven by chemical fertilizers, pesticides, and intensive irrigation. From 1986 to 1988, his quest for natural farming techniques it was here that he discovered the natural systems at work in forests, maintaining healthy ecosystems. For a period of 6 years onwards, from 1989 to 1995, Subhasji experimented trying to adopt natural techniques in agriculture. After thorough research, he verified different techniques, consolidating them into the Subhas Palekar natural farming technique. He conducted many workshops all over India. He was awarded India's fourth highest civilian award, the Padam Shri, in 2016. This farming method is of chemical free agriculture, drawing from traditional Indian practices. It is a unique model that relies on agroecology. It aims to bring down the cost of production and return to a pre-green revolution style of farming. It claims that there is no need for inputs such as fertilizers, pesticides, and intensive irrigation. Just before I hand over the floor to Dr. Subhas Palekar ji, for some housekeeping, we request you to keep your audio during the presentations. You can put your questions in the chat box and we will take it up in the question answer session. During question answer session, you can unmute yourself and ask a question. Now I hand over the floor to Dr. Subhas Palekar ji to educate us because we all are, sir, we have been making very many mistakes in our agricultural practices. We request you to enlighten us with your knowledge. Please.
Thank you, Nilamji, and thank you all of you that you have invited me as a speaker in this webinar. Thank you, Nilamji. Food security is a prior question which is discussed in the media throughout the world. Thanks to Dr. Norman Borlaug, he had developed one technique that is Green Revolution technique, chemical farming, to become India self-reliant in food production. but it is not so. The claims are done by agriculture universities and decision maker governments that India has become self-reliant, self-sufficient in food production. But I think that these people are misguiding the nation. The reality is that by means of Green Revolution, India was not self-sufficient in the food yesterday, not tomorrow. And if chemical farming and more dangerous organic farming will continue, India will never become self-sufficient in the food grain production. 60 years gone. What is the food situation now? Now, India is importing 154 lakh metric ton of the pulses from international market every year. We are importing edible oil, maybe soybean oil, sunflower oil, palm oil, millions of the ton from international market every year. We are importing fruits, and also vegetables, technology. Our nation importing 100% potassium fertilizers, 78% phosphatic fertilizers, and 70% nitrogen fertilizers. Even we have imported GM technology also. That country which is importing millions of the metric ton food from international market every year, how can they claim that they are self-sufficient? On the other side, now Indian population is 132 crore, and it is estimated that in 2060, our population will cross 150 crore, more than China's population. Growth rate of population growth, China was having 2%. Now, America 1.2%, global 1.5%, and India's growth rate of population is 1.9%, double than China. That means this increasing population of India and global population is becoming responsible for food security. India is having 35 crore acre land under cultivation today, and we are producing 26 crore metric ton of the food every year. And up to 2060, India will have double production than today. That means security stock 50 crore metric ton. We have limited land, 35 crore acre land under cultivation. In this limited land, we have to take the double production than today. It is not possible by current agricultural technologies. It is proved scientifically. I have figures that by means of the chemical farming, production of per acre production of every crop is reducing continuously. And we are importing everything except white rice and wheat. Organic farming is more dangerous than chemical farming. In organic farming, input cost of the crops is double than input cost of the chemical inputs, chemical farming. How much exploitation has been done by chemical farming? Double exploitation is done by organic farming. And organic farming does not giving the production, less production than chemical. To solve the food security, if the chemical farming and organic farming are responsible for a reduction in the food production, then these two technologies become useless. Even on global platform, we are listening about global warming and climate change. Global warming and climate change is a human calamity, it is not a natural calamity. There are so many greenhouse gases which are responsible for global warming and climate change. 4 are main: carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, methane, and chlorofluorocarbon. These initial 3 are most important: carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, methane, are emitted in huge quantity, unlimited quantity, by 2 sectors, one industry sector and second agriculture sector. Chemical farming and organic farming are responsible for the emission of the greenhouse gases in huge quantity. That means when you utilize chemical fertilizers, organic fertilizers, compost, vermicompost, cow dung manure, and any other chemical organic inputs, carbon and nitrogen are released. This carbon is coming in the atmosphere. It is oxidized and carbon dioxide is prepared. By oxidation, and nitrous oxide is created. The compost pit activity heat is created, and also by means of the anaerobic activities, methane is emitted in huge quantity and deposited in the atmosphere. Methane also is a greenhouse gas. When you utilize compost, vermicompost, cow dung manure, and all other organic fertilizers on the soil, due to the high temperature in the atmosphere, because our nation is having great temperature in May, above than 40 degrees centigrade, then actinomycetes start to decompose carbonic material, and carbon dioxide is liberated. It is greenhouse gas. It is deposited in the atmosphere for a long period, 120 years also. It is greenhouse gas. The proteinous material in the cow dung manure, compost, vermicompost are decomposed by actinomycetes, and due to this activities of the actinomycetes, Actually, ammonia is liberated. Then nitrosomonas and nitrosomonas are responsible to convert ammonia into nitrite. Nitrobacter are converting nitrite into nitrates. These nitrates are again decomposed. Free nitrogen is liberated by micrococcus, microorganism species, and this free nitrogen is coming in the atmosphere. It is oxidized in the atmosphere by oxygen, and your nitrous oxide is limited. Government of India has given the commitment, legal commitment, in international conference that government will reduce 45% organic carbon. How? If maximum organic carbon is liberated, even carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, methane, these are greenhouse gases are liberated by chemical farming, organic farming, and industry sector. How government will reduce the carbon emission? I think that if government of India is willing strongly to stop the carbon emission, two options: to ban chemical farming, to ban organic farming. There is no option at all. And also to restrict the emission of the greenhouse gases through industries. There are so many technologies we can convert these harmful smoke emission into usable emission. But it is not utilized throughout the world. Food security is coming in crisis due to climate change. You know, since my childhood, I was seeing in summer there was full sunlight, no cloudy weather. In winter, there was a cold, no cloud weather, full sunlight, clean air. In the instant, there was a raining, acid rain. No winter in the rainy season and no your summer in the rainy season. Now it is totally changed. 0.9 degrees centigrade temperature, I don't believe. I think that 1.5 degrees centigrade increase above the global temperature by means of the global warming. And due to the high temperature, the sea level, sea water is continuously become hot. Huge vapor is coming in the air due to the high temperature of the sea water. And air is totally become hot. Molecules of the air is splitting and depressions are created throughout the year. And due to the continuous creation of the vapors, water vapor, and the low pressure areas continuous throughout the year, we are seeing cloudy weather. If any variety is having 135 days duration, that means if that plants will get 10 hours in a day full sunlight, by photosynthesis process, they will manufacture the food continuously throughout 10 hours in a day. In 135 days, 1350 light hour they will get. So we will get 2700 kilo of the production per acre. But now due to the cloudy weather, continuous cloudy weather, the leaves are not getting sunlight for photosynthesis. Stomata are closed by the closing activities of the guard cells, and photosynthesis stopped. That means food preparation is stopped, discontinued. Ultimately, the production is stopped or disconnected. Food security is straight related to global warming and climate change. You know, when the sunlight are coming on the earth, the sunlight is coming with radiations and ultraviolet rays. These ultraviolet rays are very harmful for crops, human being, and environment also. So God has created a beautiful system that ozone layer is covered on our atmosphere, and that ozone layer absorbs the ultraviolet rays and radiations, and pure sunlight is sent to the earth so that we can save our live beings and also environment. But due to this greenhouse gases, ozone layer is finished, destroyed, and radiations and ultraviolet rays are coming straight, and they are destroying. These greenhouse gases absorb the heat, incoming heat and outgoing heat from the sunlight, and due to the continuous absorption of the heat, the greenhouse gas temperature is enhanced. That means atmosphere temperature is enhanced. One thing should be discussed globally, that there is a great big challenge has been given by global warming and climate change for food security. Everybody has to do something to stop the emission of the greenhouse gases, otherwise no. In Subhash Palekar natural farming, we are not emitting single gram of the greenhouse gases because we are not utilizing compost, vermicompost, cow dung manure, chemical fertilizer, edible oil cakes, and organic fertilizer. Nothing. Even in chemical farming, the residues of the crop are burned. Huge smoke is emitted. These are greenhouse gases which are responsible for global warming, climate change. We are not burning any biomass. We are utilizing entire residues of the crops as a organic matter, as a mulching on the surface of soil, so that humus will be created. We have given the solution to stop the emission of the greenhouse gases through Subhash Palekar natural farming. Even, you know, now corona crisis. Now corona is changing the form by internal mutation. New variant of the corona is coming. Now Delta corona. So many new diseases are created as a biological war. I think that corona, cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart attack, tuberculosis, spondylitis, all these human created diseases basically are the gift of the God. Gift of the God, not created by human being, but God has given a beautiful gift to the human being and all living beings, including plants, to save their body from diseases and insect attack. To save from corona, cancer, diabetes, heart attack, and that gift is innate immunity. It is given by the God at the birth time of every living being. We are losing our innate immunity by means of by eating unnatural food. If the human being will not accept one truth, that human is 100% vegetarian, we can't save our body from corona, diabetes, heart attack, and cancer. Never, never. First, we have to accept the truth that human is 100% vegetarian. Then we can give the solution to stop the death by deathful diseases. It is 100% scientific truth that human is 100% vegetarian, and human food is vegetarian, plant-based food. Plant-based food means the leaves, fruits, pods, grains, and tubers. Milk is not plant-based food. Milk is animal-based food. That means milk is not vegetarian food. Milk is not vegetarian food. Those who are drinking the milk, eating the curd and ghee, clarified butter, they are not vegetarian. They are not. Don't claim that you are vegetarian. When cow is standing while grazing in the grazing land or forest, cow casts the dung and urine straight on the surface of the soil. Why? Because in 1 gram of the local cow dung, she is giving minimum 3,000 million beneficial effect to microorganisms. And in the cow dung, uncountable species of the identified, unidentified microorganisms, uncountable, which are straight involved in the humus creation in the soil. Humus is the fertility and productivity of the soil. Humus is the foodstuff of the root zone of the every plant. Humus is the live mother. That means if entire uncountable species of the microorganisms may be unknown or known species are involved straight in the humus creation, that means the God is giving the message to local cow, utilize entire cow dung, don't utilize specific species of the microorganisms. Waste decomposer, Go Kripa Amrutam, EM solutions, and all other biofertilizers are having specific limited species of the microorganisms which are included. The cow giving order to utilize entire species, and you are separating one species and utilizing for culture. It is not a Go Bhakti. It is not a natural. It is not a spiritualism. It is atheism. It is unnatural behavior of the. They are not Go Bhaktas. They are not Go Bhakta. They are anti-Go Bhakta. They are anti-Go. Because they are not following the guideline of the Goma. Even cow is casting their cow dung and urine on the surface of the soil to develop the soil fertile and productive. But if the calf is not there to drink the milk, cow will not give the milk on the surface of soil. No, only in the mouth of the calf. That means cow is giving the message. That message is given by actually by the God, that only my calf is having the right to drink the milk. Human is not having any right to drink the milk. And all these Go Bhaktas in India, they are drinking the milk. They are selling the milk by 150 rupees liter. They are selling ghee 3000 rupees liter against the guideline of the mother cow, Go Mata. They are not Go Bhaktas. They are not Go Bhaktas. They are anti-local cow. They are anti-local cows. The cow is giving bullock. Cow is giving calf. So that bullocks will be created. That bullock will be utilized as for cultivation practices in the soil. How many people are utilizing the bullock for cultivation? These Go Bhaktas in Goshalas. They are utilizing tractor. How they can claim that they are Go Bhaktas? That means something wrong. To listen the cow and message of the God to the cow. Basically, in Subhash Palekar natural farming, we are utilizing entire cow and dung and urine in the form of Jivamrutam, Ghana Jivamrutam as a culture, not as a fertilizer. In 10,000 year history of the agriculture in India and throughout the world, every technologist has given the message that there is no nutrient, there are no nutrient in the soil. Soil is totally deficient of the nutrient. So you have to utilize manures and fertilizer as a nutrition. It is totally wrong. It is totally wrong. Subhash Palekar is the first human or technologist who says fertilizers, manures, compost, recompost, biodynamic, all these manures are not the food of the roots of any plant, so not necessary to utilize. Basically, our technologies are coming from the Western countries are not natural, are unnatural, are not science. It is not science, it is not a knowledge, it is ignorance. And that ignorance is called chemical farming, organic farming, Vedas farming, and yogic farming, mantra patana, yoga sadhana. Unnatural things not happened, not existed in the nature, in the forest. Basically, the plant body is constituted by five major elements. Prithvi, that means minerals from the soil. Aap means water. Tej means solar energy. Vayu means carbon dioxide. And Akash Mahabhuta, that means cosmic energy. And the basic fundamental science is that 98.5% body of every plant, every human being, or every living being is constituted by carbon dioxide, water, solar energy, and cosmic energy. Not given by human being, given by the nature, free of cost. By means of the photosynthesis process, when grilloos absorb the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, the air is not sending any bill to you, giving free of cost. Monsoon bringing the water from the ocean, Indian Ocean, Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea. And by means of rainwater, we are getting the water. Monsoon is not sending any bill to you, being free of cost. Per square leaf surface area of any plant, the plant basically receiving 1250 kilocalories of energy per day, but God has not given the capacity to the living leaf to absorb more than 1%. That means 1 square feet leaf surface area absorb 12.5 kilocalories of energy in per day. Sun is giving that energy, not sending any bill to you, giving free of cost. Cosmos, 27 nakshatras, is giving cosmic energy free of cost, not sending any bill to you. If it is scientific truth that 98.5% body is constituted by only 4 elements which are not given by human being, are given by the nature, by the God, free of cost, where the question is rise to utilize any chemical fertilizer, organic fertilizer, compost, vermi compost, cow dung manure, and even your edible oil cakes and organic fertilizers, Panchagavya, Dashagavya, Agnihotra, where nothing, totally wrong. Unnatural things, not necessary at all. Not necessary. These Panchamahabhutas, 5 major elements, are constituted by 108 elements. And these 108 elements are divided in 4 groups. Number 1, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Number 2, nitrogen, phosphate, potash. Number 3 group, calcium, magnesium, and sulfur. And rest of the 99 elements are under 4th group, that is micronutrients. Just we have seen 97 to 98% body is constituted by only carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. That carbon is given by the sun, hydrogen and oxygen given by the ocean by means of the water. Where this question is arise that we have to utilize any manure and fertilizer for growth of the plants. Not necessary at all, not necessary at all. And all other nitrogen, phosphate, potash, and all other micronutrients are getting available by the nature. There is no any role to human being has been given by the God in the growth and development of the plant body. The atmosphere is having 78% nitrogen. Ocean of the nitrogen, the air. And God has given the contract to nitrogen fixing bacteria to take the nitrogen from the atmosphere and to supply the roots. Not given to agriculture universities, not given to organic farming experts. The God has given this contract only for nitrogen fixing bacteria. And all the nitrogen fixing bacteria are created in the intestine of the local cow, coming in the dung and coming in the Jivamrutam, Gani Jivamrutam. And when we utilize Jivamrutam, Gani Jivamrutam, we are inserting all these nitrogen fixing bacteria in the soil, maybe symbiotic, maybe non-symbiotic nitrogen fixing bacteria. They are activated, they take the nitrogen from the atmosphere and supply to the roots, free of cost. There is a huge phosphate, potash in the soil. Soil is Annapurna. Soil is an ocean of the nutrient. Go to the nature, dense forest which is created by the God, not by human being. Because nature has come first on the earth, and then human being has come, sent by the God. In the dense forest, in the nature you go, a huge tree of mango, tamarind with uncountable fruits every year without any human existence and assistance. You cut down any leaf of any plant in the forest and investigate any laboratory in the world, you will not see any deficiency of nitrogen, phosphate, potash, and macronutrient in the plant body. Why? Why? Because all these agriculture universities, promoter of the organic farming, promoter of the Vedic farming and Vedas farming, all these promoters are claiming that nothing is existed in the soil. We have to give by means of the chemical fertilizer and organic fertilizer. Totally wrong. Totally wrong. There is no any deficiency of the nutrient in the plant body in the forest. That means all nutrients are getting available. All nutrients are got available. Nitrogen is available, phosphate, potash are available, macronutrients are available to the plant body in the forest. Not given by human being. In either forest, no tribal people also. That means given by the God, given by the nature. Nature is having its own system, which is self-reliant, self-developing, self-nourishing system, by which all these nutrients are getting available to the roots free of cost, without any human existence and assistance. Phosphate is enough in the low strata. Potash is enough in low strata of the soil. And this phosphate is converted into usable phosphate, available phosphate by some bacteria. This bacteria is called phosphate solubilizing bacteria. And God has given the contract to this phosphate solubilizing bacteria to convert non-available into available form. And these bacteria are created in the intestine of the local cow, come in the dung, and when we utilize dung for Jivamrutam, Ghana Jivamrutam in Subhash Palikar natural farming, and when we utilize these bacteria spreading in the soil, and they convert non-available phosphate into available form. Trivalent orthocalcium phosphate in single valent orthocalcium phosphate. Divalent orthocalcium phosphate in monovalent orthocalcium phosphate. That means when you utilize Jivamrutam and Ghana Jivamrutam, no phosphatic fertilizers and no nitrogen fertilizers are to be utilized in the soil. Potash, a bumper stock of the potash in the soil existed, but existed in the silicate colloids, not in the usable form. The roots want single particle of the potash, and microorganism species which are responsible silica, Bacillus silicus microorganisms, which convert non-available potash into available form and give available to the roots. This Bacillus silicus species are created in the intestine of the local cow. That means when you utilize Jivamrutam, Ghana Jivamrutam, not as a manure, not as a fertilizer, understand, no manure, no fertilizer is the food of the root zone. Stop it, madness. Stop it, madness. Even when you utilize Jivamrutam, Ghana Jivamrutam as a culture of the microorganisms, ultimately they convert non-available into available form, and all 108 elements are become available to the roots. No single gram of the manures and fertilizer and cow dung manure are utilized. No, nothing. Satyo, in Subhash Palikar natural farming, we are utilizing cow dung, cow urine, as it is, with uncountable species of the microorganisms, which are the best gift of the God to prepare Jivamrutam, Ghana Jivamrutam as a culture, And when we utilize, we fulfill all the requirement of the nutrients, all the requirement. Even we are creating resistance power in the plant body. And humus is responsible to create the resistance power in the plant body. Actually, it is not the truth that we are creating resistance body. No. Every plant is having innate immunity. We are activating it. We are strengthening it so that they can face the insect attack and disease attack very strongly, and they will save their bodies from this insect and diseases. When we prepare humus in the soil, ultimately the plants are getting the resistance power and they fight with the disease and insect. In Subhash Palekar natural farming, not necessary to spray any insecticide and fungicide due to the activation of the innate immunity in the plant body. Even when if we eat the poisonless food, we activate our innate immunity. But when we eat unnatural food, ultimately we lose our immunity. If it is animal, scientifically, they have to prove. This workshop is not a workshop for prove it because we want so many time. But today and tomorrow on my channel, you can listen me for 6 hours back to nature. Corona, cancer, diabetes, heart attack are the gift of losing the immunity. Why you are losing immunity? Because we are eating unnatural food. If the plant-based food is the food of the human being, that means the leaves, pods, fruits, grains, and tubers, it is a vegetarian food. Grains are not actually the food of human. The seeds are the food of birds and insect. Because our intestine cannot digest the grains, because trypsin is required to digest. In the intestine of birds, it is happened, it is existed, but in human, no. So we have to convert the grains into flour and we have to boil so that it become digestible. That means vegetarian plant-based food is our human food. It is easily digested, and that digested food creating resistance power, activating innate immunity, keep our body away from the cancer, diabetes, heart attack, and corona. But when you eat unnatural food, which is unnatural food? White sugar, unnatural food. Unnatural food. White salt, unnatural food. Wheat, unnatural food for Indian people. White rice, unnatural food for Indian people. Even maida, unnatural food. Milk and milk product, unnatural food. Fried food, gulab jam, kachori, samosa, alabunda, unnatural food. White salt, unnatural food. That means pizza and all other packet food, unnatural food. And these all unnatural food are acidic food, are not alkaline food. Our blood pH value is 7.4. That means alkaline. But when you eat all these acidic food, ultimately we are disturbing our immunity and the activities of the blood. The blood supply oxygen, minerals, vitamins, and vital power to the cells of the body. But when you eat acidic food, unnatural food, ultimately blood acidity is increased. And when blood acidity is increased, the functioning of the blood is stopped or restricted. Blood want to neutralize the acidity so that blood can activate and start their activities. And for that purpose, enzymes are required. Enzymes are involved in the body activities throughout the body. But blood invite them to neutralize the acidity of the blood. Ultimately, body function is restricted. And we are facing so many health problems. And when enzymes start to neutralize, for that purpose, maximum calcium is required to neutralize the acidity of the blood. And that excessive calcium is taken through the bones and teeth, and bone become porous, and we face osteoporosis disease, which is most dangerous disease. Dental hospitals are opening every day. Why? Because of the osteoporosis. We are losing our health of the teeth, we are losing of the bones, and we face so many problems. You are responsible. You are responsible for finishing our innate immunity. When we eat wheat, chapati, white rice, wheat is not having the fiber, only 1.2% fiber. Wheat is acidic and having gluten, very dangerous. Gluten is very dangerous for digestion. White rice is having only 0.2% fiber and acidic. White sugar acidic. Edible oil which is purchased from the market, refined oil acidic. White milk acidic, milk products acidic, fried food acidic. And this acidic food, chapati, white rice, and acidic foods, when enter in the human body, body does not accept this unnatural food. Ultimately, residues of this unnatural food are deposited in the human cells as a toxic garbage. And if detoxification process will not happen in the body, then this toxic garbage become toxins and they finish our innate immunity. And we face corona, cancer, diabetes, heart attack. Food security and human health both are in crisis, not by the activities of the God and nature, or these are natural calamities created by human being. In Subhash Palekar natural farming, we are not utilizing any chemical fertilizers, chemical insecticide, fungicide, herbicides. We are not utilizing any organic fertilizers. When you use compost, vermicompost, you feed to the human being cadmium, arsenic, mercury, lead, and also elements, radioactive elements. These are the heavy poisonous heavy metals come in the human body and they are deposited in the human cells as a toxic garbage, and we reduce our immunity. It is very essential to discuss how to save our body how to save our environment, how to save our agriculture from this crisis. And I think that only solution, Subhash Palekar natural farming, because in Subhash Palekar natural farming, we are not feeding any poison to human body. We are not utilizing anything. We are utilizing only Jivamrut Ghanajapam agriculture. A tremendous soil is the ocean of the nutrient. And when you give Jivamrutam Ghanajapam, and to maintain the carbon-nitrogen ratio 10:1 of the humus, when you take the leguminous intercrops in your main crop, humus is automatically created in the soil, and that humus supplying healthy nutrients to the plant, and plant get the immunity, and that plant food, best food, becomes stronger, healthy, and when we eat this natural food, plant-based food, our immunity becomes stronger, and we can face maybe strains, corona, cancer, diabetes attack, heart attack, and high BP successfully. To save the food security, it is very essential to ban chemical farming, more dangerous organic farming, and also Vedas farming and yogic farming, and cow dung manure also. In Subhash Palekar natural farming, cost of production is near about zero. Production is not reduced. Production is increased every year. And we want only 10% water and 10% electricity in Subhash Palekar natural farming. 90% water and electricity is saved. 90%. And also, we are giving more production, healthy production, poison-free food, and pollution-free water and environment. If water is having a pollution-free, clean water, no pollutant, air quality index below 30, air quality index below 30, intensity of the solar light in between 5,000 to 7,000 foot candle, and even summer temperature below 32 degrees centigrade or below 36 degrees centigrade, that is your natural environment. None of the living beings will suffer by any disease. They will get joy and natural joy. But we have lost everything due to the unnatural living standard, chemical farming, organic farming, and also by global warming and climate change. Now, air quality index is enhanced above 300 to 700 also. What we are doing? What we are doing? So, Sathiyo, food security is state related to the technologies, human technologies, which are given by the human. And for that purpose, I request all the NGOs, all social organizations, all governments to ban chemical farming, organic farming, and industry sector also, which industry will not emit greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. They have to continue, and which are emitting survive. Otherwise, no. Otherwise, no. Corona will take the life, cancer will take the life, and diabetes, heart attack will take the life. God has given 150-year lifespan to human being. And now, due to Corona, 30-year-old youth are dying. Children are dying. At last, I will request you, stop to eating poisonous food. Stop to practice chemical farming, organic farming, Vedas farming, and all other destructive technologies. And start to utilize Subhash Palekar natural farming, poison-free food, nutritious food, medicinal food, so that God-gifted innate immunity will become stronger, will be strengthened, will activate, and we can save our future generation, will save their lives. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil.
Thank you so much. कुछ audience के we have 5 minutes for questions.
Because my next session is
Go ahead,
31, 150, 130. Immediately I have to start the preparations.
Okay. So my questions, I can send the questions. I think you've answered most of the questions actually. There are few questions, so I can send it, and if you can answer the questions, I can share it with the audience later, and I can mail them the answers. Is that okay? हेलो ये क्वेश्चंस मैं आपको भेज दूं या मतलब 5 मिनट और क्वेश्चंस के लिए आप दे सकते हैं तो मैं पूछ
You send my all the questions on my WhatsApp group,
yes
WhatsApp number, so that I can give the answer. Because I have no time, I have to continue start
Yeah,
my
yeah.
150 Back to Nature workshop. Okay, thank you. Thank you a lot.
I understand, sir.
Thank you a lot.
Yeah, thank
Okay.
you so much.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. That was a very inspirational and enlightening talk. I thank Dr. Subhash Palekar ji for taking out his valuable time in this difficult era of COVID-19 and sharing their valuable insights with all of us. Due to paucity of time, and he has another program that he has to go to. I'm really extremely sorry that he will not be able to take the questions, but I'll be sending him all the questions that you have posed, sent it to us earlier and also in the chat box. And as he has promised, he will be answering the questions, and I'll be sharing all of them with all the people, all the participants and speakers. And last year, all our simple talks actually was hosted by Jalbagh Educational Institute, deemed University Agra, as our institutional partners. And this year again, we have started our second season of simple talks as part of our campaign Action for Simple Living. And again, DEI has come forward to host the talks with us. I thank Professor Dr. Prem Kalra, Director DEI, and Architect Molly Caprihan, and Architect Piyush of the Department of Architecture for partnering with us as our institutional partners and co-hosting this session. I also thank all of you participants for actively participating in the webinar with extreme enthusiasm. This is our second webinar from our Faculty of Earth. Our next set of webinars and the posts on social media will address the issues of waste management and natural construction materials and technologies. Please stay tuned for our announcements on social media and on our website. Stay healthy, stay happy, and have a great week.